Why hello there thrill seekers, and welcome back to another quick tutorial where I'm going to show you how I put down a vertical loop in my Son of Beast recreation. Anytime now, there'll be the loop. There it is! Cue the intro! So, once again, hello to thrill seekers, and welcome back to another quick tutorial where I'll be showing you how I put down a vertical loop in my Son of Beast recreation. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I've been getting quite a few comments on how exactly I did this, and I see people a little bit confused on thinking that this is actually a new feature in the game. Seriously, no joke, I actually have a few comments about that. So, I'm going to clarify that with this video. So, we're going to have this loop right here be our little example for the beginning of this video, and then later on in the video I'll show you exactly how I built it. So, right here, what exactly I did in a general sense is that I kind of took out the hill on the coaster here. So, in the original video, it was just a hill that kind of went off to the side over there. So, it was like just kind of like the airtime hill going off to the other side to go up there. And what I did is I just took out the top of the hill, went up on both sides, and I basically attached them together up here with a steel arrow coaster being the supports around the whole loop. Just to give it a bit more of a realistic sense, because if you didn't have this here, if I was to just select that and delete it, it would look like that, and kind of looks boring. So I put the steel beams in there. But let's actually talk about how I did this. Alright, so we got a blank park here. That'll be perfect to show you exactly what I did here with hopefully no distractions. If you get distracted by the trees in the back, well, I don't know what to say. Alright, so the first thing you would do is you would go up here in the option settings. You want to go to settings, you want to go to game, and you want to scroll all the way down and tick this, disable track limits. By applying this setting, you are able to now basically release all restrictions on your track manipulation tool. Just place down a wooden coaster and create this little setup here. Or if you already have your wooden coaster made, just make sure you have a little S-bend happening. So like basically what I did, I went at a 45-degree angle to the side at a 5-meter length track. And then I just went straight, and I just deleted that there. So that's what I did to create this little gap here. Alright, so just do that, that way you have this set up here. So, the next thing you want to do is make sure that you mirror everything that you do, like mirror all your actions. One thing you want to keep in mind though is you want to disable the optional catwalk and disable the track supports for when you actually make your loop. The reason being is because when you actually manipulate the track to be straight up, the wooden supports kind of freak out. I'll show you what I mean. So if I was to make it all, let's make it all the way up, and turn it that way, but then bring the banking back, you can see that it freaks out. Now the reason why I'm manipulating the track in that sort of manner is because while yes, you can actually invert the track via banking now that you have the track limitations option ticked, but you can't invert it through slope. So if I was to bring the slope all the way up and try to keep going past 81-degree bank, or not bank, slope, it just won't go. So that's why I brought it up to 81 degrees, went sideways, and brought this back. So now it actually is at a 90-degree bank. Even though it says 81, you're really at a 90-degree slope at this point. So what you want to do when you're at this point right here is you want to make sure that you mirror all actions on both sides. So if I was to, let's say, go at a 12 length, and I was to go at, let's say, 33, on this side I want to make sure I'm at 12 and I go at 33. There we go. There's our base of the loop. Next, we're going to go up to this point, but maybe I want to go at maybe, let's say, 9 or so. And make sure you do this here, where you bring your turn all the way over to 90 and bring your bank all the way to 90 in the opposite directions. That way it kind of cancels each other's out and it goes to a 90-degree slope. The reason why we want to go to a 90-degree slope is that way when we auto-complete it at the very top, it will connect in inverted fashion. If we don't go to 90 degrees, instead we went to 81 on both sides, there's not enough, the distance is too large between the both sides that it will actually just kind of like make a long turnaround to the other side instead of just going straight to the inverted points. So you want to make sure you're at the 90-degree bank by doing the whole slope at 81, turn 90, and then bank 90 in opposite direction, cancel the turn and the bank out, and it'll go to 90. And the thing is, it'll also actually bring this shape involved, where it will go kind of like veering off in the direction you want it to. You can see that's veering off to this side, and when we do the same on this side of the track, it will also vary over here. Now, if you do it the other way, so if I was to actually go 90 that way and go 90 this way, it will go in the opposite direction. Try not to do this, alright? Try to make sure your track is being manipulated in the direction you want it to go in. Now you can see how the wooden supports are freaking out. That's why I said earlier, when you're at this point right here, just to disable track supports, and there you go. So now if we go over here, I think we were at a 9? I think it was 9, yeah it was 9. Now we're going to go like that. Oh, whoops, wrong way. See, even I can make that mistake. Let's have it go in that direction. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, then you just disable track supports. I was gonna have it this one here be disabled. There we go. So you can see we kind of have too large of a gap here. So if we were to like just be on this side autocomplete, it will invert itself, but that's not really a loop shape. I kind of screwed up, but you can see the general idea. I could also just do this, bring that shape up there, and then try my best to smooth it out. There we go. And now we have more of a loop shape. It's not going to be perfect. Certainly not for what I did there, because I was kind of like speeding up the process as best I could, just to show you the general idea. But if you give it enough practice, and if you spend enough time on your loop, you will get it. Alright, so now on these straight pieces of track we have here, we can just have it do whatever we want. And we can just have, like, let's say, just head back up on a slope. Maybe that was, like, the drop, even though that drop's a bit steep for that loop there. And then maybe on this side we have, like, oh, I don't know, maybe it banks off in this direction. We can have, like, banking offset there. There we go. We can have it like that. I don't know. It's completely up to you on what you want to do on both sides, as it is your coaster. But that is indeed how you make a vertical loop for your wooden coasters. So if you have any questions on how to do this, or if like you have any other like questions on anything that's not working for you, feel free to put it in the comments below. Now, real quick, at the end of this little tutorial here, I'm going to show you what I did to kind of put down the steel beam around the whole loop. So what I did is I went over to my coasters and I went to the American Arrow, aka the Arrow Looping Coaster, and I just plopped it down right there, best in line with the track I possibly can. Maybe I could move it a little. Just gonna hit move, and then line up the best we can and put it into advanced mode and bring it back. Now, the best thing to do is to kind of like line up the piece of track to where you see this last beam, because that very last beam is where the next segment of track is for the wooden coaster. Alright, let's bring it down. So what I did is I kind of like hid the rails of the track the best I could inside of the wood itself. Of course, every now and then it will show like that, as that's like the best you can hide it. But when you actually put it into the full loop itself, it won't be too obvious, especially when you change the color to the same color of the track as well, or the same color of the wood. So at this point, I tried my best to follow what I did for this track here. What I did on the Son of Beast video is I went at a 4-meter sort of manipulation. So I kind of like followed the track the best I could with 4 meters of track, or 4 meters of segments. The best I could. I kind of lined it up inside that all the way out throughout the loop. And this will take some time. It's very time consuming just to be able to follow the whole piece of track using 4-meter segments. The reason why I'm doing 4-meter segments is because we did actually make the full loop itself before doing the steel track underneath it, so we end up smoothing out the track itself already. So the segments are not going to be what they were when you're placing it down. For example, if I was to go into the wooden track here, and let's say I deleted the top bit here, and you can see we have this piece right here, and if I was to just slightly move a piece, you can see it popped. So that means that whatever we had being built there was impossible in the coaster editor, because the shape is it could have had an S-bend shape inside of it, and you can't make a single S-bend in a single segment. You just can't do that. Unless if you auto-completed it, which is what we did. So you have to do a 4-meter sort of technique with the steel track underneath, just to be able to follow it the best you can. Another way you could do it is just actually build the loop without smoothing it, and then build the steel track underneath it, doing the same sort of method you did for the loop, and smooth out both, smooth up both the wooden track and the steel track the same number of times. So count okay, I smoothed out the wooden track 10 times to get it to get the right shape, and then I smoothed out the steel track 10 times just to be able to follow what I did for the wooden track. So do things like that. Alright, and I'm not going to build the full steel here because it will take me probably 20 minutes to get it finished, and I don't want to do that for a single video here since it's just for the tutorial, and well, I've already done it once and it was very time consuming and it did get quite tedious near the end. But if you're someone who doesn't mind that and want to make your own inverting wooden coaster for a video, well, there's an idea for you. I don't need to actually use this steel track underneath it. That was just the one I used. You could go with let's say a floorless light coaster and use that beam underneath, or maybe you would go with, I don't know, the prototype wing light coaster where you have this track underneath it with the 2 spines under. It really doesn't matter. You can go with anything, really. Anyways, now that you know how to do this, or maybe you're in the right direction but you need some help, feel free to comment below on anything you need help with, or join the Discord server and ask for help. But anyways, for those of you who do know how to do this now, well, I can't wait to see what you build using this whole vertical loop. And the thing is, here's a little trick. It doesn't just work for wooden coasters. This works for all coasters that may not actually have a looping feature. So if you can't invert a track using a slope, but you can invert it using bank, do this. I'll see you guys another time. Be sure to join the Discord server. And not just that, but follow my my Twitch channel if you want to see me build these things live on the stream. And I'll see you guys in another video. And enjoy the rest of your day here at PvP Games. I would like to give a big thank you out to Sunshine, Elv, Killingerk, ZhoustFrags, Paladinleeds, Jake Smith, and Xbox Fly 15 for all their contributions to the channel, as they are a great help to help me grow. And be sure to click that little end card to view more videos and creations I have built, and don't forget to subscribe to see more as they come out. And be sure to follow my Twitch channel if you'd like to see these things be built live on stream. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day here at PvP Games.